Doot, 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 doot. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing all right. I had forgotten my water. That is why I'm late today. But hopefully, having water will prevent the Swiss cheese brain. It probably won't, but at least I'm trying. Aside from that, I don't have anything exciting to talk about. Mama, do you?
Nope, I lead a boring life.
I mean, if you say so. It is Sudoku time. Whoops. Pause. Alright, puzzle number 1, which I will go ahead and put in chat. Ibith, Zipban, link in the chat. Zipban by full deck and missing a few cards. Normal Sudoku rules apply. All lines are both Renban and zipper lines. Centers of zipper lines are marked by small circles. Along Renban lines, digits for a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in some order. This should say form. Along Renban lines, digits form a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in some order. Along zipper lines, pairs of digits equidistant from the center have the same sum. For odd-length zipper lines, that sum is the value in the center of the line. All right, then we can begin. Now, this 3-cell one, for it to be a Renban and a zipper line, and it's being length 3, I believe this has to be a 3. Because if I try to make it a 4, I would have to do a 1-3. If I wanted to do a 5, the closest I could do is 2-3. But I would need to have a 4 on there, and that would have to be 4-1. So 3 and a 2-1 pair seemed the most reasonable way of going about that one. And I think this one has to be a 5. Because I'll need a 4-1.
Yeah.
And then to get down to 3, or get down to 1, I'll need a 2-3. Now, I don't know which one's which, except I do know that I need a 3 on here, and none of these can be 3. So that's 3, that's 2, and those are the 1-4. I was just putting that there for illustrative purposes, but it turned out to be correct. And actually, that gives us all of that there. We're going to get another 3-2-1 over here. So I think this one has to be 7. For similar reasons as this one was 5 and this one was 3. Because if I try to make 8, then because that has to be the largest one, I'll need a 7, but that would pair with a 1. Let's move that here and there. But then I'll also need a 2, which will pair with a 6, and a 3, which will pair with a 5. But I don't have a 4, which connects the 1, 2, 3 to the 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, a 7 with a 1, 6, which can't be those. A 2, 3, which you can't have the 3s on this side, so you can't have 2s over here, and that can't be 3 and 2, and that can't be 2 and 3.
Except 2-3 does not sum to 7, it sums to 5.
That's
it would
true.
be 2-5.
It would be the 3 and the 4. So thank you for that. 2 and 5, and you don't have 2-5 across the middle. But this has to be 2-5, so these can't be 2-5, so that must be 3-4, so that's not 3-4. And then we have 8-9 in the vertical center. These even length zipper lines are a little bit more complicated. Because
the top of column 5 is a 6. Because it
7,
sees
8,
7, 8,
9.
9 in the column, and
7, 8, 9 is the rest of that row. Um, but I think any run of 4 digits that are consecutive have to be even.
Well, if you look at column 1,
Mm-hmm.
on either side of the dot, the center there, the minimum that can be is 4, 5. Now, I know it can be larger than 9, but
Yeah. Because these two don't have to be consecutive themselves. I could do, say,
no, but
but I could do 5, 8, and 6, 7.
7, yeah.
Um, but I think it's going to have to be that sort of pattern, right? Where you're going to have the consecutive pair and the non-consecutive pair separating each other.
The 9 wouldn't work because then you can't have anything for the other half of it or for the
Right.
other pair. 10, that would have to be 4, 6, but then
But
there's
I wouldn't
nothing
be
for
able to
the
use
other low
fives.
digit, so it can't be 10. 11, 4, 7, and 5, 6 would work.
Yeah. Could we make 12 work? No, because we couldn't
No,
use a pair of sixes.
right, and you
So it
and the
has to
low
be an
digits would
odd
be 3 or 4.
sum.
Well, it could
Is it
be 14 for 6, 8, and 5, 9.
a pair of sevens?
You
Because
wouldn't have to have a pair of 7s.
but the Renban rule, they have to
Oh,
be
right, right,
connected.
right. Right. I forgot about the Renban.
Yeah. So I think that rule means that all of these have to have as their sum an odd value.
Yeah,
Because if I were to try to make it even, I'd have to double something, which
right.
isn't impossible, but based on how they're lined up, it is. Right? If they had been drawn differently, there's ways that, like, if say I just moved this L shape down one, then this one and that one, if it had been moved down one, could have been a pair of 8s to make 16, and then a 7, 9. Except Renban is a non-repeating set of consecutive digits, so that still would have broken the even rule.
Right. Yeah, so if 11 is 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 7, and 5, 6. 13 is 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9 is 15, so yeah. But wait a minute, did
Hmm.
4 work in any of those? Yeah, 4, 5, 4, 7, and 5, 6 for
Yeah.
11. Okay.
Oh, this is 3, 2, 1 because the 3, 2, 1's here.
Right.
Does that have implications for this? Because these are either a consecutive pair, which could not be 1, 2. It would have to be 2, 3, and 1, 4.
Well, and it can't start with 1 because the rest of it sees a 3, and it would have to include a 3.
Yeah. I guess the
So the
smallest
same with
digit
2.
could be a 3.
Yeah, so
Um,
3 would be the smallest digit that could be on there. So the left arm is a 3. Because the other 3, if it's a 1, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Ren band.
Yeah.
And the other 3 in it see 3.
Right. Oh, right.
And the same with 2. Yeah, there we go. So it's going to have to be 3, 4, 5, 6.
Where the 6 has to be here to make 9.
Right. And the 1,
Yeah, I don't know
6
why that was so
in
difficult for me.
box 8 is resolved. Yeah, it happens.
So can we do
not have been
something
explaining well.
similar? No, I think you were explaining just fine. I was just slow on
Well,
it.
you can't use 9 because that would have to go down to 6, 9, 8, 7, 6, and it's
Right.
the other 3 C6. The same
And
with 8
so this
and
then this
7.
has to be 6 then, for the same
Yeah,
reason that this had to be
6
3.
is the largest that can be. So it's 5, 4, 3. No. Yeah. No. 6, 5, 4, 3. That doesn't work.
So
Oh,
I don't
no, it
know if
was just
this
that
one had to be
corner.
6. Yeah.
It was just that corner.
And the same with this one. So I think going back to this one had to be a 3. Because
Right.
1 or 2 would force a 3 up here.
Right.
But
But
that
it
doesn't
could
mean
go
3 was the smallest on here.
right.
So
It
I
cannot have
could
a
make
1.
Yeah. But I could do a 2, but that 2 would have to pair with a 5 and a 3, 4.
Yeah.
Or it's 3, 6 with a 4, 5.
Well, at least that got caught sooner than
Yeah. So now we know 6 cannot be the largest digit because you said
right.
5, 4, 3 and no 3s. So 4 could be the smallest, and if 4 is the smallest, it pairs with it would be 5, 6, and 4, 7.
Right.
Except this has to have a 5 on it. Because if it doesn't have a 5, it would be 2 and 4,
Right.
but those don't work together because it needs to be something different. So that we can't do 5, 6. So these cannot be consecutive because the 5 has to be over here. So they are non-consecutive. So it can't be 3 and a 4, 5. It is going to have to
no
be.
reason that it can't be 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, right. 6, 7. Well, it can't be 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, it would be 6, 9, and then 7,
6,
8.
9, and 7, 8.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of the entire Ren band, not
Right.
the zippers.
Yeah. But it couldn't be 6, 5, and 4, 7. But it could be 6, 7, and then around it you have 8 and 5.
Right.
So 8's the required one on this one, where 5 is the required one on this one. Yeah, and I couldn't put a 1 on here. So it could be 1, 4, and 3, 2. Okay. I think I did that all right. Because the consecutive pairs would be a 5 or a 7, but we have to have a 5 over here, so this can't be 6, 5, so 6, 7. Or 2 steps away, or no, the 5 or 7 ends up on here, and it's either 5, 8 or 7, 8. But you're going to have an 8. And you have to have a 7 around here completely. But, yeah, okay. I think what we have is correct. I'm just struggling to explain it. Okay, now this run of 4 here is minimum 4. So it's either 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 through 7, or it's 9, 8, 7, 6. But 7...
6 and 7 have to both be on there.
Right, so this is 4, 5, or 8, 9. Or it's 4, 9. 8 takes 8 off. Yeah, we do have to have 6 and 7. Whether that's the 6, 7 pair. Or not. Well, if it's not 6, 7, then it's 7, 8.
Okay, well, column 5 has 1, 2, 4, 5 left.
Is it 6, 7, or 7, 8? We know this cannot start with a 4. No. 4,
Right.
7, 5, 6. So that puts 6 and 7 paired together, but not in the way I was saying. So I was completely off on that one. This is a 7, 8, 9 triple. So this isn't an 8 here, and these two are 1, 2. Well, they're not 1, 2. Hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3. So they have to be 4 and 5. So this is 1, that's 2. This has to be odd, and a 4. Well, now I've done something wrong. Because that would be a 7, 8, 9 triple. So
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is gone, so 7, 8, 9. This would have to be a 5 and a 4, a 2 and a 1. 2 has to pair with 5, but 3 can pair with 6. But that's 9, and that's 7. And I wouldn't have a 4. I need a 4 on here, but I can't put the 4 here. Or there. Oh, and no, that's good. Okay, I'm still pretty sure that these are 3s and 1, 2 pairs. 7 and 5. And I have to have a 3, so that's going to pair with a 2, and 1, 4 pair. That's going to go this, like that. Okay, that's forced. 1, 2, 3. And because this is length 4, if this was 1, 2, 3, 4, that would have a 3 on it. But none of that can be 3. But 1 is going to go 1, 2, 3, and 2 is going to go 2, 3. So this has to have a 3 on it. That's forced. This is an 8, 9 pair. 3s pair with 4s. 1 pairs with 6. And then this is 2, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. This feels different for some reason. But maybe I did something somewhere else. I'm not sure. Because Because I remember having 6s in places. I mean, 1 has to be in here. That could be 1, 4, and 2, 3 still. But this couldn't be a 1. Because that would be 2, 3, 4.
Right. And four is on the red band between 2 and 3, boxes 2 and 3, and 5 and 6. Yeah. It cannot go down to 3. So 4 is going to be the lowest that can be on there.
So this has to be a 1, 2 pair. Because
Right.
1, 2, 1, 2. And if that can't be 1 or 2...
And 4 has, 4 has to appear on the red band on the left between boxes 1 and 2.
Right. So it could be 3, 4, and 2, 5. Or it's 1, 4, and 3, 2. One of these has to be a 2? Is that correct? Because...
yes. Because the 2 can't be. It's going to have... well, couldn't it be 3, 4, 5, 6?
No, because this has to be 1 or 2. This is the 1, 2 is forced.
Oh,
here.
right. That has to be a 1 or a 2.
So either this is the 1,
one of
and we
those
get 2,
has
3,
to
and
be
4,
a 2.
or this is a 2, and I couldn't do a 1 in either of these, so 2 would have to be the smallest. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if 2 is one of those, so that's a 5 and a 2. How did I have anything that forced a 1, 6?
I don't remember. We might get to it again. All right.
And we had a 6 somewhere that did something here?
Right, because it's...
oh, there's the 6 up here. 7, 8, 9.
Oh, right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 6. But that didn't do much.
Well,
that just took 6 off of this, but these two...
all right, finish out column 5.
1, 2, 4, 5, I believe.
Yeah. And that puts a 1, 2, 4, 5 quad in box 5.
Yeah. But more importantly, 4 and 5 have to be in this column, so that's a 2, so is that. So this is 1 and 4. And 4 and 5 is gone from that cell. 1s and 6s, but that doesn't do enough here to fix anything. 6, 7, 8, 9, just for fun. Well, 4... oh, well, the 1, 4 takes 4 out of this, so this is a 4. 5, 7, 8, 9. So these two aren't 5. And another 7, 8, 9 there. So 5 is one of these two, but that doesn't really do anything. Although 6 has to be one of these two. Oh, the 3, 6 does that. in a better way. This could still be a 4, and you do 5, 6, and 7. It's across the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Earlier
5,
we had to have a
6,
5 in row
9.
3 in that other Renban.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I don't either. But I remember this being done.
Yeah, but I don't know what pushed it. I don't remember what pushed it into it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Oops. My bad. Okay. If this is a 4, this has to be a 7. And because it would have to be the smallest. And you have to add 3 to the smallest, and then the 2. So if this is a 4, this is 5, 6, and 7. But if it's not a 4, then I could have 5 as my smallest, which would pair with 8, and then it'd be 6, 7. But if this was 5, 8, 6, 7, or 5, 8, 6, and 7, or I have 6 as the smallest, and it's 6, 9, and 7, 8.
In box 6, you can place a 3 in that bottom left corner because you cannot put a 3 on the Renban. Because if it goes down from 3, then it has to have a 1. If it goes up from 3, it would have to have, well, yeah.
So I know I can't put a 1, so 2 could be the smallest.
Right.
So it'd
But
be
2
a
and
4.
4, and then there's 1 and 5. So 2 and 4 are all that you can get
Okay.
going from the 3. So you cannot have 3 on the Renban at all.
Right. So this is 3.
Which means
That
3
forces
has
a
to
3 on
appear on the
this.
right, which leaves out 8 and 9. 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 could be on there, but 8 and 9 are out. That's 3 and 5. 3 is with the 6.
Right.
Yeah. And in box 8, 6 pairs with, or 1 pairs with 6,
Right.
and yeah. Whatever I was trying to say.
And I feel like the 6 was on the other side.
Yeah, because that's how it, so I don't know what we did. 4 can be placed in box 7.
So can 5. And 6, 7, 8, 9.
6, 7, 8, 9, yeah.
Pairs with that to make this a 1, 2 pair. We have 8, 9, and 7, I think.
Which column 9 is left with 6, 7, 8, 9.
and this can't be a 5. So
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9. Not a 6, so not a 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. And now this is 4 or 5, which takes out 9 as an option. But this has to be the smallest digit.
Yeah, 1, 2 pair. And a 4, 5 for the, yeah.
Oh, 4, 5 pair there. And actually 4, 5 pair here. So this is... Well, that
4,
doesn't
5,
work.
6, 7.
Oh, yeah, it does. 6, 7, 4. Wait, hold on. Did I do that right? Yes, because of the 4. Okay. 7, 7, 6. This has to be the smallest, because if it's a 4, none of the others can be smaller than 4, and if it's a 5, well, none of the others can be smaller than 5. So this is the smallest, which means that, because this is even, this has to be odd. So that has to be 5, 8, and then 6 and 7. Six, 9, 8 pair, 9, 8, 7, 8, 9, 7, 9, 8, 8, 9. Why did it do the thing? 5, and then a 6, and an 8. There we go. First try. Still not sure where the mistakes came from.
Oh, who knows?
They must have come from the Swiss cheese. The Swiss cheese in my brain. Torak, the first time you made a mistake in thinking that the Renban in box 1, 2, 4, 5 is 3, 6 and 4, 5. You saw that mistake, but you entered 1, 6 in box 8. And forgot to remove the digits in box 8 when you undid that. Ah. Okay. That definitely makes sense. If I was trying to I don't know, it makes sense what you said. I was trying to add on to it, but then my brain is just like, nope, nothing to... Did I... Said it was right. Digits in row 8 from left to right. That's row 8. Oh, this is also not the right puzzle. I'm just like, oh, I found zip band. I'm completely not looking. Oh, you also did the same thing, Torak? That's funny. But I mean, the puzzle's right here, and it clearly looks different than this one. Is
Pudding brain?
I mean, that one was just me not paying attention. And trying to multitask. I'm going to put that one as multitasking. Whereas the thing from the puzzle was definitely pudding brain. All right, I can't find this setter, so this is saved to my notes as just the Sudoku pad. Are you interested in solving one of mine to cool down from pencil marking? I'd recommend the simple sandwich. Let's go ahead and tackle the simple sandwich then. This one here. That is not the button I wanted. Alright, so the simple sandwich by Tolrak. Place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row, column, and box. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. Clues outside the grid show the sum of the digits between 1 and 9 in that row or column, and digits along an arrow sum to the digit in the connecting circle. Alright, now how can we put as many pencil marks into this grid as possible? Simple sandwich.
Well,
Self-separated by a nice
row 3 has a 30 on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 that's not inside the sandwich.
Right. So on the corners, we can put 5 in 2 cells over here, 2 cells over here, or 1 on each side, or we just have a 5 as one of these two. But I guess that means these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 9.
Well, you can't use 1, 4.
That's
but yeah,
true.
it could be. So 4 isn't it? Yeah.
So we either have 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, or 5 and 1, 9, or 5 and 1, 9. Well, if I did 1, 9 like this, then I would have 30 here. And I'd have to take out the middle digit. But if this was 30, the most I can put on the arrows is 18 with a 9 here. So this would have to be a 12 to make all of that into 30. So I cannot do 2, 3 on opposite sides. However, I can still do 2, 3 on one side or the other. I just can't do 1, 9 like this. And then we have 10. Well, I know 9 can't go on one of these points. So 9 has to be one of these 5. And we know the 9 can't be there. Because 1 and 9 are in these two opposite sides. I don't know why I'm struggling with this. this automatically jumps up to a minimum of 14. Because 2, 3, 4, and 5 is 14.
But you can't do 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, I definitely can't. So 7's out. So this is either 16 or 18. And Torak says, consider the 2, 3 option again. Well, it would have to be a 2, 3 on this side or a 2, 3 on that side, which would put 1 and 9, or 1 and 9. Oh, I can put 1 on points.
Yeah.
That's pudding brain.
You need more ones pencil marked.
I thought we were not supposed to pencil mark this puzzle. Alright. Does that change the values that can be on here? Probably. Because if I can put a 1 on here, Thorax says, well, that's kind of it. The pencil marks aren't very helpful. Yeah, probably. I have been told that the pencil marking that I tend to do removes some of the... Say again?
Oh, yes. What? I can't remember what it was.
It was like, removes the elegance of the solve or something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah. It was kind of a goofy
comment someone made.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so 30 has to encompass this section. Now it doesn't have to do all of it because I can put a 1 on one side, and then the 30 would go from here. Okay, if I put a 9 here, just for funsies, then this is 18. And then I have 12 that I need to put outside of the thing. So that would be here and 1 on the outside. And then you'd have 1, 9, and 5. If I do it this way, where I make this 30, even if I make this a 9, then these 3 are 17. And then I make 13 from those two. Well, if I'm making 13 from those two, I can't do 4, 9. And the 4 has to be with a 4, 5. I mean, if this is a 1, that would be an 8, and then this would be a 4, 5. So 5 and 8 would be out, and that would be 6, 7. So, okay, well, I was kind of hoping that wouldn't do anything. Alright, I can't think of what this is doing yet. 20 in a similar fashion down here. Now, that's going to be 15 on the outside.
Which has to be 7, 8.
Yeah. If it's 2. It could be done in 3.
Yeah.
Or it can't be done... No, it could be done in 4. Because if you do 2, 3, 4, 6. 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. That would be 15. But you couldn't do it in 5. And then you've got 10 in the vertical, which is either 2 or 3. If it's 3, it has to be 2, 3, 5. If it's 2, it's got lots of options. Well, 3 options. I'm definitely overthinking this puzzle. So what am I doing wrong? No, it can't be in any of those. If I just think about 9s... Alright, I want to think about the 2, 3 again. If I put 2, 3 here, then it would have to be a 1. And then the 9 would be all the way over there. But I demonstrated, even if I put a 9 here, that would be 1, 8, and 4, 5, and 6, 7. So that's a possibility, but that isn't the only possibility, because I could make this an 8, and it would be 1, 7. Well, could it be an 8 if I put the 1 here and a 7? And then that would be 2, 3. So that's 9.
But then you wouldn't have a way of making... Then how do you make the other 8?
I mean, this would be 8.
On the arrow.
And
How do you make
4.
the other 8 on the arrow?
But yeah, because I don't have 2, 3, and I don't have 4. So yeah, 8's not gonna work. And just for funsies, a 7 would be a 6. But again, 2 and 3. So this is forced to be a 9 if I put the 1 on here. And then it would go 8, 6, 7, 6, 7, 4, 5. But that's if, and only if, I use a 2, 3 on one of the sides. If I don't do that, and instead do a 5, and then 1, 9, then what? Um,
And it would have to be 9.
you're saying this has to be a 9?
I think so.
Um,
Because, I mean, the digits you're left with are 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And you can't use the 1 on it. So
says 15 to 25. So it would have to be 16 or 18.
but how are you going to make 8? You have to make 2 8s. Can't
Well,
use 7, you don't have the 1. You can
I
do
have,
3, 4.
oh,
You
right.
can't use the 2 because you can't have 5. So you cannot do. And just
So
like that, how do
then,
you do 2 8s? You can't do 2 8s because you can't double the 4, you can't use the 1, and that only gives you 2 6. So it would have to be a 9.
yeah. And I wouldn't be okay, it would be this 2, 3, 6, 7, all removed, and you have 4, 8. So the middle here is 4, 8, or 6, 7, and this does have to be a 9. Right?
Yes.
And I can't put the 1 here, clearly. So it must be a part of the 10. However, we said earlier, 3 cells for 10 would have to be 2, 3, and 5. But this doesn't have 2, 3, or 5. So this is 1, and this is either 4, 6, or 2, 3. Oh, I don't need that 4, 8 over here, or this 5 here. Okay. Now, do I... If we look at this one, I cannot put a 9 on an arrow. So that's not allowed. What about a 1? Well, it can't be in the same box, and we have anti-9. So 1s aren't allowed. So
Yeah, I forgot tonight.
all of this must be within the 20. Which means I have to make 15 on the outside, which has to be a minimum of 2. So this is 1, 9, and 7, 8?
Well, 2 through 6 is 20, so
Yeah. Now, what does that mean this has to be?
well, it can't be 9. So that center can't be a 2. And since
Wait,
that's
why couldn't it
even,
be
that
oh, right, it can't be a 9 because of the 9 up here. Silly me.
and since the yellow sums to 20,
Yeah,
the 2 arrows sum to 20, therefore the center has to be even. Yeah.
yeah. So
So it's
now
either
16 or 17?
no, 16 or 14.
I don't know why I said 17. Oh, pudding brain. I'm not even that tired. I know why I said 17, because I typed a 7, but
Oh, yeah.
still. Okay, so an 8 is 16, that's going to leave a 4 in the middle. That's easy enough. A 7 is 14, that's going to put a 6 in the middle. And that's also easy enough. Okay. All right, take out the color there. And, well, if this is a 4 or 6, then this can't possibly be 4 or 6, so that's 7 or 8. With that being 7-8 pair, the options for here were either a 6-7 or a 4-8. So but we've used up all of the sandwich clues. Well, 9 has to be one of these two because of anti-knight. This one was going to have to be one of those two. Yeah, actually, hold on. Where can I put 7-8 in here? Clearly, it can't go in the middle because of Sudoku. But both of these see both of those by anti-knight. And they can't be in here because I can't put a 7 or 8 there. So that's a 7-8. So what does that mean for 9? 9 is one of these two. But I don't know if that's... I mean, it's too far from that 9, and not impacted by this one. But 9 has to be one of these two. So if I did this one as the 9, then that could be 9, or one of those two. If this is the 9, then it could be this one, or one of those two. It didn't feel helpful. Are these helpful? If this is 9, then that's 9, so that would be 9. Otherwise, it's the other way. And so purple would take out those two, and green would be one of those two. Doesn't seem useful enough.
All right, if we look at row 4, the whole row sums to 45.
Yeah.
Minus the 7-8 pair, that leaves 30.
Yeah.
9 has to be in one of it. 9 doubled is 18, which
There's
leaves
12 left?
12. And the whole arrow plus the circle is going to be even. So that
this has
center
to be
is
a
a
2?
2. Yes. That was a long-winded way of saying it, but it got the whole thing across. So one circle is 9, the other circle is 5. And it can't be 2, 3 with the 5. It has to be 1, 4. And 3, 6 for the 9.
But that means 1 and 9 have a virtual pair, I think. Because I either put 9 here and 3, 6, or I put 1, 4 and 5, but I have to use 1 or 9. And that's going to pair with this. Although I guess it's not super helpful because I have this right here, which is already the 1, 9. Um, oh, a 2 pairs with an 8. And if
Oh
this
yeah,
was an
chat
8,
about that.
then, I mean, this is a 7, so this is a 6. And 2s were removed from here, so 5s are removed from here. Then, in this row, placing an 8 here means that I cannot do 1 8. So now that's not allowed. And so this is either 2 7, 3 6, or 4 5. Apparently I don't have 2s on the outside, so I don't have 7s on the inside. Following that, if I took both 2 7 and 3 6 out, I'd only have 4 5s. So the opposite is true. It must be 2 3 6 7, where I don't have 2s on the outside, so no 7s on the inside, and I get 5s on the outside, 4s on the inside, and then 1 9.
Column 5 is left with 3 4 5. And directly below the 7, directly below, sees both of the, so those 3 are different. All 3 are different. Which may or may not actually be helpful, but I saw it.
Yeah. What does this arrow have to be? Well, 1 means that the minimum here is 2 3, so 5 6 7 8 9. And it can't have a 9 because of the 9 pair that we saw. So this is either 5 7 8. If it's a 5, it would be 2 3. A 7 would have more options, but it would be 2 3 4 5. And 8 would swap out the 4 for a 6.
Okay, I'm going to pause here. Box 6, where's the other 7 8?
Well, it can't be up top. And if this isn't 7 or 8, then...
And remembering that we have a virtual 1 9 pair.
Yeah. So this has to be 7 or 8. Because if it isn't, and it was a 5, I couldn't put 7 8 anywhere. So, not a 5. Now 2 3 4 5 6.
Oh, where's... Okay, never mind.
A 5 would have 1 and 4 here. So then 4 and 5 would be removed. So it would be 2, 3, 6, which would have to be 8, 2 and 6. But a 9 would be 3 and 6, which would make this 2 and 5 for 7. Hold on. 5, 1, 4 means that I have 2, 3, and 6 left over. So I have to do 2, 6, 8, 9, 7, and 3. Which would make that a 4. 5 and 3. Now, the other way, if this is a 5, then this would, if this is a 9, then that's a 1. 1 and 4 would be out, so that would be 3 and 6. So 3 and 6 leaves 2, 4, and 5. You can't use a 4 with the 3 to make 7, and you can't use 4 to make 8. So 2 and 5 makes 7. 2 must be on here. But and then 3 would be that. So that would be a 4 and a 3. But a 5 is removed. This must be 3 and 4. Regardless. So this is 2 and 5. Michael Lefkowitz says, hello, long time no see. It has been a long time, Michael. I've been streaming for an hour and 11 minutes. Why haven't you shown up sooner? Hopefully that is coming across as joking and not as rude. 4 and 1. I don't know why I said it had to be one way of those. I am able to detect sarcasm, yes. Good. Not everyone can. Why do I have 1 and 4? Oh, I know why. Do I know why? Well, that one can't be a 1, so that one can't be 4. Why did I have it the other way over here, that it had to be one way or the other? Is it something to do with this? Not that I can tell. Yeah. And even if people can detect the sarcasm, they're not always appreciative of those kinds of jokes. So there is that as well. 1 gets moved up, and 8 gets moved up. 9 would be placed higher, and then the 3, 6. What's left over in the middle? Now 6 and Torak says, "Where's 5 in box 6?" Well, it's either the 2, 5 here, or it's here, in the purple square up top.
To undo all your work.
But it shouldn't be completely undone, because I'm just sort of bifurcating. Interesting shape. Well, if I put the 5 here instead of over there, then this 5 would see that, and that. So I cannot put a 5 in any of these positions if I were to place the 5 here. So this can't be a 5, which means this is the 5, and purple is not 9, I think. Well, no. Purple can still be 9. But green is 9. Yeah, because I have to have the 5 over here, which takes it out of there, placing it over here. So that's, yeah, okay. But
Well,
we just don't know about
green
this row.
is the 9, then in row 4, that's, yeah.
5, which, I'm just going to highlight all of this and doot. So 8, 3, 4, 3, 7, 3. Got a 1, 4, and 2, 6. Not a 9. Not a 3, also not a 3. 3, 6. 1 and 8. And don't need those. I don't really need that to be painted anymore. That's not a 1. And now I don't have a 1 on this side, so that must be a 9. And a 1 and a 4. 1 and 4. Not a 3. Not a 3. Those don't seem to need to be painted. 6s aren't paired with 3s anymore, so 2 and 7. And what's left over in here? 1, 2, 8, 9, 3, and 6, and apparently neither of these are 5. So that is. And well, this column seems a bit restricted. 3, 6, 5, 2. Either of those two are 9. This isn't 8 or 9. We don't have 1 or 7. And we don't have an 8 up here. Michael says row 1 through 9, column 1 through 9 by Sudoku.
The 9.
Sorry, not a very useful hint.
Where is 9 in row 1? I think is what he's asking.
This one says no, and this one says no, so that's a 9. Is that also true in this one? Because we get a 9 in one of these 3 places.
Well, where is... Okay, never mind.
Maybe one of these 2, and one of those 2, which actually removes that, so then we get one of those 2, or here, which takes that out and takes that out. So there we go. Michael, are you basically saying that the rest of the grid is solvable if I just do it? No, I was just saying the rest of the grid solves by Sudoku deductions. I could be more specific, but that would involve actual thinking. Yep. Well, I mean, isn't that true at any point in the puzzle?
I think he's just trying to get that number 1 spot again.
Let's see. You're tied right now. So Tulrak, you gotta comment if you want to keep your number 1 spot. Get 1 4 here, which is actually fixed, so that becomes a 5 and a 4. These 2 are not 4 anymore.
The 2 can be placed in column 7.
2 in column 7, which is going to be there. And what else in column 7? No, it can't be a 4 because they're there. 6.
6.
Torak says, well, the hint was that the clues have been used up, and that is true. I have used up all of the clues, so I do just have Sudoku left. The 1, 2, which is actually removed from those places. 4, 6, 8. Apparently this one's a 6, so nothing else can be. 4, 8 pair. 1, 2, 8, so that is a 4 and an 8. And this isn't an 8. 1, 7 is going to place a 4 here, which is going to fix these 2, 8 and 7. 2, 1, 8. These two are, what, 1 and 5? 7 and 1, 3, 6, and 7?
7.
6 and 7. This is 7. I have almost all the 4s. Okay. This one's 4. So now I've got all the 4s. Let's see. Let's do.
Where are the ones?
Ones? Just missing in this box with a 1 there. 2s. Now it's one of those two. I still need a 3 in this row, and I also need an 8. 8s as well. I need an 8 there, and so it's not this one. Do one of those two, and one of those two. Less helpful, but that's an 8, so
Yes,
3 and 2.
Anti-Knight, box 9.
Oh, derp. 8 and 8.
5.
3, 6, and a 5. I don't see 3 or 5, so that's going to be fixed here. That's actually going to get all of the 3 6s done. And good old Auntie Knight. 2, 3, 4, 5. Need a 6, and I need a 7, which I think neither of those is done. And then I need a 2. It's going to be one of those two. I need a 3, which is here. 4, 5, I need a 6. This one takes it out of the middle. And a 7 is removed from both of those. So 7, 6, 7, 2, 6, 2, 6. And we're done. First try. Alright. I definitely overthought that one. Because there were a lot of easier things I could have done there. GG, thank you. Here, copy and paste that link. Row 1. Alright. Okay, it was definitely not as difficult as the time would suggest. Figuring out that this was a 9 was definitely something should have been able to do sooner. And then I don't know if I had to go through all of the steps here to get that this had to be 4, 8, or 6, 7. But it definitely led to getting a 1 here, which forced 1 and 9 on opposite sides of this, and then I had to have 7 and 8 still on the outside. Then that leads that both of these have to be even, because what's left over is even from here and here, because the 7, 8 pair gets forced up here, which made that part odd, and so the rest of this is even, 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 so that's still even. And then those two were the same, so that was even, that's even, that's odd, so the middle had to be even. So, I guess I'm between easy and average. Torak says there was a lot of pencil marking in the previous puzzle, so I gave him one where he didn't have to pencil mark all that much. And then I pencil marked it anyway.
Especially all those ones to begin with.
Yeah. And Torak says, when rating, remember that the bifurcation you did in the middle was unnecessary. That's definitely true. Because the 5s got forced into this space, which gets rid of the 5 from here. I don't know. I guess I am going to go ahead and stick with easy on this one. Michael said no pressure, of course. Are we no pressuring on the difficulty or on something else? So I'm going to go with easy on that one. I do think it's a there are some of the mathematical techniques in there are a bit tricky, but it's definitely. Oh yeah. YouTube chat doesn't like links unless I put them in there, and I'm probably not going to change that. Even if I could. I think I could make people moderators, and then moderators could then post links. But yeah, eventually I am planning on getting into potentially more controversial topics, and so people will. I will not let people do links for those types of streams. But yeah, all right. So that was the Simple Sandwich by Torak, and then spoilers for later. But if I do this, and I swap out this ID for JS6. It gives us Little Wonder. And click on that, and that gives us the Sudoku pad. So we have A Little Wonder by Michael Lefkowitz. In each n by n grid, normal n by n Sudoku rules apply. The indicated diagonals have the same sum. That's it. All right. Copy and paste. And then let's see how this goes. So we've got a couple of 4x4s and a 6x6. Six. Okay. Do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they aren't guaranteed to be 10. But I guess one thing I know for sure is that this has to be a 5, 6. Because I know that these have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Similar thing is true over here, 5 and 6. Which means these two have to be 5, 6. And these two 5, 6. And now I'm getting cold. Okay, so now I have 5s and 6s on here, so the minimum sum goes up quite a bit.
Well, except for if you consider the indicated diagonals have the same sum. So the max in the 4x4s is 14.
And with a 5-6, I mean, that's minimum 10. So this can go up to 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
So the minimum would be 13, right? No, 12. 1, 1, and a 5, 6. Or excuse me, 1, 5, 1, 5. It's 12. And that's 2 degrees of freedom, which eliminates nothing. So that's helpful. Because maximum here would be 3 4s. But if I can take off 2 degrees of freedom by making this 12, then I can turn a 3 into a 1, 2, or a 1. Now, if this was 3, 4, and 3, 4, what would that do? I don't know. I do know that these two are those two, which means they're those two and those two. I don't know if that's helpful. We have a similar thing going on here. Actually, hold on. If I make these blue, just for fun, then the others are red. Well, that means those two are blue, which means those two are red. Which means that these two cannot be red, and neither can those two. Which means they're a new set. Take out yellow just for fun.
Well, and in the center down there, that's a blue. If it's the first row that's underneath the black, or underneath the first 4x4. I'm not explaining well. Yes,
Are you
that
talking about
row.
this row?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So the the bottom one there, not both of those, just the bottom one. That's
Right.
blue.
Because, yeah.
It's got the 2 reds it needs.
Now, I need 2 blue and a 5, 6. Well, this can't be 5, 6, so it's blue. So then these two are red. And the 5, 6 goes diagonally somehow. And then I get a red-blue pair.
And the
Okay, and then the striping effect here, if I make it, say, purple and orange, just for funsies, then these two are purple, and this one is also purple.
purple.
This one is purple, and this one is orange. I don't know if this is even helpful, but so that's purple and orange, purple and orange. So can I get these two? They're orange. So
Okay, for the 6x6, the column 2 has 2 orange.
yeah,
So it's a purple and a 5-6.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not helpful, is it?
no, not yet. Because the same thing's true over here. I have
Yeah.
all of red. I just need the 2 blue, but they're going to be diagonal like that. But I do know that these two cannot be the same now, because this one's purple and this one's orange.
Right.
So that means they're now minimum a 1, 2. And if they're a minimum 1, 2, that brings my minimum sum up from 12 to 13. So now, 2, 3, 4. And 4s are required.
The same with the other 4x4.
Yeah. Right. If I do... Now, these can't be a pair of 6s, but they can still be a pair of 5s. Or they could be a 5, 6. But we know that these two are different. Do we know that they have to have a 1 or a 2? If this is a pair of 5s, then they can't be 2, 3, so one of them is a 1.
Yes, one of them has to be a 1.
Let's say this was the 1. It's orange. That couldn't be 1. So, this is the 1. So that's 1, and that's 1, and we have 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 1. Now this one is also red, so there's the ones in red. If this is a 3, then we get 3 4s all across. And that would be a 3 and a 2. If this was 5, 6, then that would have to be a 2. But if this was 5, 6, this would be a 2. But then so would that. But then these would have to be 3, 4s. So these cannot be 5, 6s. They're both 5s. And so if this is a 3, then that's a 3. And if this is a 2, that's a 2. Regardless, this cannot be the 4 because those two would be the same. So this isn't 4. That one is. That's the 2, 3. And orange must be 2, 3. So we get 4, 4. So the other purple digit is a 4, and that goes in blue. So these two are the same. They cannot both be 2. So they're both 3, excuse me. Okay, so that.
Okay, well
So
the bottom 4x4 diagonal.
Pair of 4s.
Yes. So it's 14.
So those are a pair of 3s. 14, 14, 14. And 1, 4, 5 and 6, 6 and 5, 2, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 2. Yeah. Row 2. Suit, copy, and paste. That was a pretty good puzzle. Difficulty-wise,
maybe this is where Michael should say no pressure.
did that puzzle and that puzzle. Mute. There we go. And we didn't get to that one yet. Mute. Alright. Let's see. I missed a couple messages. Michael says, not a lot of rules in that one, eh? Hey, I estimated it as 2-star. So it looks like most people are rating it as 1-star. I do think that mathematics sort of automatically brings it up a star. At least a little bit with I guess it depends on the mathematics. So on this one, well, I don't know. On this one, you don't really have to do too much with this puzzle. And I do feel like identifying the stripes and stuff was important. But I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Red, blue, and then 2s and 3s were orange. 1 of those were purple. Because it was definitely important to note that these had to be different. But I don't know if you have to have them colored as orange and purple to do that, because you can just simply look at this pattern here and see that whatever this is, it's not one of those two, because it's in the same box in the 2x2, so it has to be that one in the 2x3, which means it can't be that one, so those are automatically not the same. And since that brings the minimum sum up, once you see, I mean, the 5 6s aren't difficult to spot at all. And then what was the other part? Seeing that this couldn't be a 1. And that was just from the fact that this minimum sum. Yeah, I don't know if the colors really made that much of a difference. Now that I look back at just sort of this part here. Michael says it's easier to use 4 colors for the upper left 4x4 instead of 2. Then you can see that one of the oranges is shared between 2 of those diagonals. So the remaining 3 cells on those diagonals are min-maxed. One of the oranges is shared between 2 of those diagonals. So if I were to do instead red, yellow, blue, and green, I mean, we obviously know that this one's red and this one is green, so we get yellow and blue, and then yellow, blue, red, green, yellow, blue. And then this one had to be yellow or blue. And, well, I don't have numbers yet, but once I learned that this one's 1, which cannot be blue, then that gives me that. And I already knew I had to have a pair of 4s, so I still don't know if that's 2. You wouldn't need to know that that one was 1. Like if you had an empty grid, only color those 2 red cells, then you can get the diagonal digits. Just gonna duplicate tab, and then restart. Okay, duped, red, yeah, red, yellow, blue, and green. And then I immediately know that this one is red, this one is green, this one is blue, that one is yellow. And then yellow, blue, red, green, yellow, blue. And I have 5, 6 in those positions, which gives me 5, 6 in those positions. So now if we look at the 2 diagonals, the reds cancel. what are the cells along the diagonal that aren't that red cell?
Right. So with 5, 6, it had to be 1, 2, or 3.
It's like this has to be yellow or blue. And then these two have to be 1, 2, 3. What are the cells along the diagonal that aren't that red cell? And if we ignore this one, so what are the mins and maxes of the 3 cells on each diagonal? Well, I know, so like once I put in the digits here, then I get 13 once I know that these two are different. And that gives me 2, 3, 4. And then these two remove that. So this is minimum 13, or no, this one's minimum 13, this one's maximum 14. And then I know that this one has to be a 1, because if it wasn't, that would be 15. So that automatically gives me that, and it can't be blue. So that's 1, 1. And I have to have a 4. So that would have to be there. You're including the red cell. Okay, if we ignore the red cell, though, if we just do these 3, well, I still know that those have to be 1, 2, 3, and since I learned this is 1, 2, 3, I mean, the max here would be a 4 and another 3, 4, so 7
11.
is, 11. And if I do these 3,
the minimum.
Yeah. Oh. So that, you're saying that means that has to be 4, 3, 4, because this is 11, and that's 11 for the max and the min. That makes sense. And so this has to be a 1 and a 5, 5. And then that can't be 1s. Oops, 4. And the rest of these are 1s. Which have a blue, and these have no yellow. Okay, still need to do the rest of the puzzle to find out red with the trick you found in the other 4x4. Oh yeah, because I don't know which of these is which. I just know that this is a 3. And then
Well, if you look at row 4,
this can't be yellow or blue. Row 4.
Well, okay, row 3 then. I was looking from the top.
Okay.
Where are the 1 and 4 that are on the outside?
1, 4 here. So that's going to make those a pair of that. And this isn't yellow or blue.
Oh, that's okay.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
Michael said
1, 2, 3. But I want to see the this part again with the 4 colors. But because I know that this one, these aren't blue and these aren't yellow. And so I have yellow, red, green. And then that means these are yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green. And I still need 4. Since I know the 4s are here and not in yellow, red, green, then these 2 both have to be 4. So those 2 are 4. So then I have to see that these 2 have to be the same. Yellow, red, green. And then how do I see that those 2 are the same? Well, this one has to be one of those 2. So it's not whatever this is. But also this one is that one. So this one and that one can't be this one. And they can't be one. Because this one is there and this one, because this one ends up in one of those 2, and there, these 2, so this one isn't yellow, so one of those 2 is yellow, so that one's not, so this one ends up being yellow, so those aren't, so that one is, so this one isn't. And then these 2 have to be the same, because they can't be that one. Row 4, column 2, of the 4x4. Yep. Row 4, column 2. So this one has to be that one. And then it's those 2. Yeah. Cool. And then those end up being 3s, and 3s, and 2s, 2, 3. And then, because those 2 have to be the same, those are the same, 3, and a bunch of 2s, and then the rest of the grid. I'm going to stick with easy on that one. Fewer rules is definitely better, I think. I do sort of get discouraged when I see a puzzle that has a scroll bar in the rule set. Luckily, none of these ones do, but this one definitely has a lot of rules. Normal Sudoku rules, then we've got killer cages, and ratios, and thermos, and anti-knight. So, yeah, avoiding the scroll bar is definitely the better option, I think. But these are all spoilers for next week. So we're going to get rid of that, go back to the talking screen, and pull up this, and save. I want this to take over this part. But yeah, because it is nap time. So, anyone who watches this back, thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. There's also a notification bell that you can ring so you can find out when random streams on my channel are. And if you know other people who like Sudoku, then share the stream. That helps a lot. thank you especially to Tolrak and Michael Lefkowitz, who were in chat today and shared their puzzles. I definitely enjoy talking with setters. It helps give me a different way of thinking about the puzzles, and just sort of thinking in general, because thinking is really important. So few people think, and it makes me very sad. Outside of that, if you want to see Dying Light, I will be streaming that tomorrow. I currently have it scheduled at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but I'll be doing that single player, and so that way I can get into the cooperative part for Saturday, and that is at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Very different time of the day, because my co-op partner, he is night shift and I'm day shift. So I used to think the brain was the most important organ in the body, but then I thought, wait, what organ is telling me that? I don't know. I'm trying to get something in here about the gut, it being a gut feeling there, but failing to make the joke is amusing, I think. And then Torak says it's just not giving you the XP to take the lead. Yeah, you somehow Tolrak has 100 XP, and Michael still only has 75 XP. And y'all were tied a little bit ago at 75 XP. So I don't know what it's failing to do. That one did give you the extra points. I'm not. Now you're at 125 XP. So maybe spamming is bad. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure at all why you'll need to collect XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages. You can also send super chats and super stickers. Now I don't know, because my channel I don't think is monetized yet, so I don't think super chats and super stickers are possible yet. So it's just live chat messages. But yeah, I don't know why. There seemed to be enough spacing in between, and Michael, you were definitely chatting. Is there a way for me to, like, I can't do anything manual on my side, at least not through OBS, unless I can do it through nope, I can't do it through Chrome either. Not that I can tell, at least. Yep, I tried. What is this moderation activity tick mark? I'll leave it alone. I don't know. But let's see. Where am I in the outro spiel? I said upcoming things. Sudoku is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time usually. It should be Monday and Tuesday next week. But the week after, I think it's only Tuesday. But I will post the schedule on YouTube. But yeah. All right. Aside from that, I am going to go ahead and click the thank you for watching screen and sign off. So yeah, I think I just mute now.